Meet Stu. Originally from the UK, he previously spent time working in Europe and Dubai, but for the past 11 years now, has called the big city of Bangkok home. Stu's story is interesting in that as part of his previous career in finance, he found himself completely burned out at just 36 years old. Looking to change things up, he opted to relocate to Thailand back in 2013 and has since built an amazing health and wellness business alongside his wife Cam, where they run Wim Hof Method Workshops and provide ice bath and sauna facilities to those living here. Today, Stu's gonna share why he chose to base himself in Thailand, what the process of setting up a legitimate Thai company looks like, the power of lifestyle design and how that relates to his success here, and then one major flaw of this city that most people only realize after moving here. I'm Adam. This is Stu's Thailand Blueprint. Let's get into it. All right, Stu, so where were you when you first decided you were moving to Thailand, man?
Yeah, so I worked in the financial industry for many years. At the time, I was living and working in Dubai. I loved my job, but I had a stressful career working in that. Also, I guess a stressful lifestyle. I'm a skydiver. I was doing hundreds of skydives in Dubai. Obviously, that's very stressful to your nervous system. And I actually didn't know I had burnout, but how it manifested itself in me, if it was burnout, was I was never depressed, but I was never overjoyed. I didn't really feel joy and happiness. And so before I moved to Thailand, I took a short break. I thought maybe I need a breakaway. My holidays before that were always action-packed. So I took a break, went traveling, ended up in South America, tried some yoga, tried some meditation, and they ended up going to a ayahuasca retreat. Didn't really know much about it at the time. So this was when I was about 35, 36. And the whole experience was just like a big reset, my emotional state, my mental state, and really made me appreciate my life and what I've got. Great family, great friends. I've done some amazing stuff in my life. And having that sort of reset moment and then coming to Thailand after that and with a new place to live, new friends, new environment, it was really nice. It was like a fresh start in my life, and that's how I ended up here after going through all that.
When you were making the decision, I guess in Dubai and then during that period of travel, were you considering any other countries in addition to Thailand, anywhere else on your radar?
And so before I made the decision, I came over to Singapore, KL, checked it out, came back to Thailand. And then when I was here, again, I was like, oh, I remember this, great place to live. And I do love cities, so I find Bangkok like a really great city. It's got everything you want. You can have like high-end stuff, you can have like really cheap and low-cost experiences. I loved it. So yeah, there was no solid decision. It just ended up everything clicking into place, and that's why I decided to come here.
Was this move kind of a life break on the heels of a stressed out career in Dubai and then that ayahuasca experience in South America you had talked about, or did you come here with a job in place?
Yeah, this was it. So when I took a break, I didn't really know what I wanted to continue doing for a career. But after the ayahuasca and this big reset, I was actually really happy to get back to my life and pursue my career and things. When I went back to Dubai, around about the same time, the opportunity working for the same company came up to move to Southeast Asia. And at that point, I was no longer a financial advisor or investment advisor. I was more, I would guess you'd call it like a fintech marketing side. So there was a small office over here. I came over here, so that's how I got the work permit and visa working for this company. And that was great. I loved that job, carrying on, building a life here. Met Cam, she got me fresh off the plane. So we met like within a year being here. And that was really good because I've done the tourist stuff here, and meeting Cam, and she wanted to take me to restaurants that I would never dream of going, these street food restaurants, which I've never seen anything like, but the food was amazing. And then we traveled to Chiang Mai. We went up and stayed with the Hill Tribe, and we went to Ireland. And I think at that point I was like, okay, I can see building a life here. So yeah, so the opportunity came through a work, and then since then, through COVID, etc., things have changed.
So let's move into your business here. So what's it called?
So our company is called Breath Inspired. We teach breathwork, breathing exercises for everyone from athletes to business executives or people who just want to try a new experience, helping people to manage stress levels. And we train in multiple different breathing techniques, breathwork techniques. But our main one at the moment, just because it's super popular, is the Wim Hof Method. I'm a Wim Hof Method instructor, and my wife Cam is now as well. So yeah, we're really busy doing breathwork workshops. We have workshops every Sunday here at our studio. And then we also do team building, corporate training, private bookings, and yeah, it's grown really well.
How long have you guys been doing this for? When did you guys start this up?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I guess you were here during COVID. So I think the first lockdown was in March 2020. And we just started really building up interest in it. And it was at that point when we set up a company. We actually started the process before that. And me and Cam got married, again before COVID. So it makes the whole process setting up a company very easy, well, a lot easier. So during COVID, the company set up. So when we eventually came out of it, we went straight into the full workshops and in-person training. Still doing some Zoom and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you were saying off camera, part of the benefits of setting up a company here in Thailand, a Thai company we're talking about, when married to a Thai national, is that amount of paid up capital is less than what it would typically be required. And then also the staff, the Thai staff that you need to employ.
That's right,
as far as it relates to the issuance of a work permit goes, that requirement is dropped as well from 4 to 2, you were mentioning.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a while since we set it up, but I believe the paid up capital is about half the amount you have to pay up. And then the staff employed for like one non-Thai person, I think the standard is 4 Thais for one non-Thai, but when you're married with a Thai person, that drops to 2 people for a non-Thai. So yeah, that makes it a lot easier. And obviously having the 51% ownership has to be a Thai person, that's my wife. And yeah, so it makes the whole process easier. But even though I think, even if you weren't in that situation, I think it's pretty easy to set up a company, even if you have to employ more staff, and the whole process is pretty straightforward. And also if you are a non-Thai person and you're working, you have a work permit, the company has to be VAT registered as well. So that adds a little bit more complexity, but it's not difficult at all.
Yeah, none of it's rocket science. I find the biggest issue that people considering a life over here run into, it's not necessarily the complexity of things. It's just the fact that there's so much information out there. Some of which is good, some of which is not so good. And it takes some time, you know, to filter through what's good and what's not. And I'm lucky because I've lived here for 3.5 years now, and I get to hear things on the ground as they happen. I get to talk with people like you and just, you know, other foreigners that are living life the right way, you know. But if you're thinking about relocating here from overseas, I can understand how that would be tough.
Because I was already here and I knew, you know, how things work, so that was easier. But I would suggest if anyone's not living in Thailand currently and they want to come over here and set up a business, there's a lot of information online. Some's good, some's bad, some's outdated, but a lot of the laws and rules change quite often. So I would suggest finding a legal team or even an agent that even at the lowest level can just talk you through the process, giving you an understanding. And again, that's not expensive, and they will have you know, good insights. So before you read anything online and think that's exactly how it works, speak to an agent, a legal team, some solicitors over here to get the full picture. Obviously it's a little bit more money, but takes a lot of confusion and time consumption out of your day as well.
And so when you were setting up your Thai business here, is that kind of the process that you went down? You had engaged in some preliminary conversation with a few different legal
I mean, we actually ended up doing it all ourselves. But initially we were going to meetings, we saw some agents, some solicitors, and because we're married, it makes it a lot easier as well. So it's pretty straightforward. And some of the agents that quoted us to help us, it was relatively cheap. I can't remember the cost now, but super good value for money. But if you do have the time and you have some maybe previous knowledge of how it works, I think you can do it yourself.
Yeah, and having a Thai person on your team definitely helps.
Yeah, because a lot of the documents are in Thai.
Yeah.
So you need to know what you're signing and things like that. Yeah, I guess if you're not married to a Thai person and you want to set up a company, then you're going to need some sort of translation going on, and that's where the agents or legal team come in. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
exactly. What's your life like in Bangkok, man? Do you love this city?
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved cities. I come from a small town in the UK. So when I first lived in a city, going to university, I loved it. I loved the energy. I liked all the places I've lived in. Spent some time in London, Dubai, like I've said. What I particularly like about living in Bangkok is very easy to travel to different countries. So we've spent some time in Indonesia, Japan, and also you just need to travel maybe an hour in every direction and you get a different, feel. So you can get a short flight to Chiang Mai, you can even drive down to Pattaya, a short flight to Phuket or the islands, Koh Samui. So I think that's one of the big benefits, but Cam also loves cities. So yeah, you can have the city life. And being here in the studio, we spend most of our time here. It feels like a bit of an oasis anyway. And at any time we can pop into the city centre, go to the cinema and shopping and things like that. So yeah, I think Bangkok's brilliant for that.
Do you guys have children?
Not yet.
No kids?
No, she wants kids. I think on the horizon, kids and things like that.
Yeah. Potentially in the mix?
Yeah. I think, so we were talking earlier about how long spending here and about your experience about it feeling like home. For me, it was the same, maybe the past experience when I was 27 and then coming again, it did feel like this was my home and I could stay here long term as well.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
Yeah.
How often do you make it back to the UK?
So I know I should go more often, but my family and friends live in different locations. So if I go up north to visit my father, my dad, my friends in the south want me to come down there. So we go back, I would say on average once a year.
Yeah.
But it might be, we don't go back for 2 years, but then 1 year might go 2, 3, 4 times. So,
right.
And my mum used to live in Spain, so I would go to Spain, see my mum as well. But at the moment we're so busy, it's just getting the time. Yeah.
So business is going well.
Yeah, and it's growing all the time, and the reason it's growing is not so much of the non-Thais, because when we first started it was 100% non-Thais, either people living here, so the expats living here, or people traveling. Now, since Cam is a Wim Hof instructor, the first Thai Wim Hof instructor in the world, doing Thai classes, more and more Thais are understanding the benefits of this and what it does and the benefits and how it makes you feel, and because of Buddhism and things like that, a lot of them, it clicks like, oh, this is like a form of meditation. This all overlap. So now we're getting more busier with Thai people coming, and that's great. I love it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Great clientele.
Yeah.
Man. You've built something really interesting here. I should say you and Cam, the two of you as a team have built something amazing.
Thank you.
After my experience doing your workshop, I was blown away. Just the way I felt. And then the buddies that I did it with on our walk back home, or our ride back home after that day, we were just awestruck, the life that the two of you have built for yourself. Husband, wife duo, building a business based on a passion. In a beautiful, you had said yourself, oasis. Right? Like it's really commendable life you've crafted for yourself, man. And that's one thing that I love about Thailand. Like, if somebody comes over here with the right attitude, the right plan, and the ability to put in some hard work and some smart work, like you can create and handcraft your own environment that is just perfectly suitable for you.
And like you said, the right attitude and respecting the Thai culture, respecting Thai people. And this was because it's my passion and Cam's now. It never started off as like a big money making scheme. It wasn't about that. It was more about, because it affected me so powerfully, how can I teach other people this, and help people's lives. And some of the people we've taught the method and had come join our workshop, people from Parkinson's disease or burnout or managing stress levels. And we've done a bunch of charity stuff as well we love a charity over here. I think it started during COVID, called Bangkok Community Fund, where they were feeding people during COVID. And we've done a bunch of workshops for them, and we help to raise money for those guys. And as we do that, a lot of the profit we make, we then put back into developing this place. And we've got some we've got some developments on the horizon as well. But yeah, I think if you come and you've got, I mean, you can come retired and have a great life, and then but if you come and you want to set up a business, there's so many opportunities here. Really good tech scene, fintech scene, a lot of really good developers. You know, we're looking in the tech industry side of things, but I think a lot of Thais, a lot of people are open-minded about new services, new products, new businesses. Yes, I think it's great.
What sort of position in life were you in upon your move over here? Like, I know you had worked very, very hard.
Yeah.
You know, you're working in finance in Dubai. Like, were you somebody that was, you know, quite comfortable and probably could have kind of shut things down altogether if you had wanted to?
No.
Or did you need a business here to do well, but you were able to pick something you were passionate about?
Yeah, so I've got an house in the UK, you know, that's rented out. So no, certainly not. I wasn't in a position that I never needed to work again. I wish I was. And then after my break from Dubai and coming over here, and like I said, I was working for a company during COVID, I think a lot of people started to reevaluate their lives, like what makes them happy and what they see the future as. And when I was in Dubai, I was single, and I've met Cam at this point when I've come over. So then my priorities started to change, and we were talking for a long time about what business can we run together, and I always said don't work with your family members, and but I think with Cam being Buddhist and Thai and me being English, and it complements each other with the workshops. But yeah, there was no real solid plan. We just sort of went with the flow, and we actually agreed that after COVID, we just said, let's continue doing this. If it doesn't work out and we can't sustain living here, then we would look at other options.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, we just continued doing it because we liked it. So as we've been developing, it's been sort of like an educational process, educating people and then giving them a really good experience as well. And we've had people, wow, we have people who came to our first workshop, you know, in 2019, still come back to us now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, some people come, it's a one-time thing, they have a great experience. Some people find it really helps them or it makes them feel great, and we've built a good community. So a lot of people come because it's like hanging out with your friends and family. But yeah, like I said, there's no plan as such. Now we're more established. Now we're building up more clients and people are aware of us. Now we're starting to solidify some long-term plans.
Cool. And then let's shift over to the personal side of things.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what sort of stuff you and Cam get up to for fun outside of the studio here.
Yeah. Well, we were actually talking about this the other day. We were saying, so when we first met, we loved traveling, you know, flying out to the country, place in Southeast Asia, traveling around Thailand. And actually after COVID, we sort of lost our drive to travel. You know, and then we started really pushing the development of the company and things we do and continuing training ourselves as well. It's funny because you're saying, what do we do for fun? We just love our job as well, you know, and especially the people who've already done the workshop like you, and we have more of a community meetup. It does really feel like we're hanging around with friends. So we get that a lot. We tend to save our trips for when we have friends visit us from the UK.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so then when they come over and they want to go to different parts of the country, that's when we normally plan our holiday around.
Go to Samui with some British friends.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, we do like, you know, after many workshops, some of the clients will say, do you want to come out for food? So we'll go out for food with those guys, or the cinema, or VR. You've done the VR in,
nice.
Yeah. And, you know, just things like that. And I think that it sounds simple, right? And go in the gym and things like that. And what was interesting, actually, when we started really doing the breath work and things every day, without consciously thinking about it, we just stopped having alcohol. Stopped going out drinking. Where we'd really enjoy going out for a meal and having some wine or whatever. That just seemed to disappear. It was just nice to go out and eat with some friends and then come back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. I'm in the middle of a 30-day challenge right now. I'm calling it the monk mode challenge.
Yeah, good.
So it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's no booze.
Yeah.
It's healthy eating.
Yeah.
And it's a 30-minute sweat every day. Now, this is Bangkok. I'm sweating right now, but I mean like an exercise sweat, right?
Perfect.
Every day. So I'm going to do that for 30 days straight. I think I'm on day 14 right now.
Okay, nice.
And I don't know, like I'm liking it. I really like the way I feel. You know, and it's not like I was drinking all that much before, but you know, it's kind of nice saving the money, and then it's kind of nice, like it feels like you're achieving a little win.
like you said earlier, you can mold and shape whatever lifestyle you want, you know, and that's what's great about Bangkok.
Yeah, yeah, this city really has everything, you know, and it's funny, like the more I travel in the region and checking out some new places, you know, I was in Vietnam, Cambodia, I just got back from Cambodia, Phnom Penh, just makes me appreciate Bangkok more. You know, like those places are great. Like, I like travel, but you know, I remember when I was young, I was reading a book and the author had said, if you want a happy life, you should choose a place to live where you're just as excited to come back home as you are to go on vacation.
Yeah, that's perfect.
You know, and when I was living in Toronto, I remember I would dread going back home to those cold gray skies. You know, I'd be like, oh, I have to go back home. Now it's like, yes, I get to go back home to Bangkok. And that's a good feeling. Like that sort of life design. And I'm sure you feel the same way. That makes a big difference. A lot of people don't even think about that.
Yeah,
you know?
I remember reading a book many years ago by Tim Ferriss called The 4-Hour Work Week. And he was talking about traveling, and don't just travel to tick the list, you know, travel and experience things. That's why we went to Indonesia, went for 3 weeks, went from Jakarta all the way down to Bali, and then we did the same with Japan. We traveled around Japan, hiked up Mount Fuji. We've not been to the Philippines yet. I'd love to visit the Philippines. We've done a lot of exploration in Thailand. And yeah, I think what you said, lifestyle design, that's what Tim Ferriss is all about, you know. It's great to work hard, but then have these mini retirements he talks about. Or like in our situation, we love our work, so we love it when we do come back and get back to doing these classes and the workshops. And yeah, I think it's exactly that. Lifestyle design is very easy in Thailand. You know, we have some clients here who, they come regular, but they love scuba diving. And as soon as they have a break, they go to different islands, different locations doing scuba diving, then come to Bangkok and do the routine coming here and other fitness activities. So I think you can get whatever lifestyle design you want to create is possible in Bangkok and, you know, many places in Thailand.
Agreed. And you guys don't live here at the studio, right? You're in a condo over in Asok?
That's right,
Cool.
So what we were looking for in COVID, we're in Cam's small studio, and there was a house at the back, we lived there. And then we didn't really know, like, when everything opens, like how quickly business is gonna come back. But what had happened during COVID, we had a lot of people messaging us saying, when are you open? I'm coming to Thailand. So we had at one point, we had a backlog of about 60 people wanted to join the workshop. So as soon as we opened, we were busy for a few months. And then Cam said, do you think we should go to somewhere bigger? And I was really unsure. So we actually, you living in Thailand and exploring, you can get, you know, amazing condos, amazing property, housing compounds, single houses. There's so much choice. And if you go even further out to Bangkok, there's even more choice and obviously price difference. So we looked at many places. We found this place and we loved it because of the high ceiling, doing the breath work, you know, big open space and, you know, this area, which we actually developed to make it like this. And I like work and where you live separate, but if it's okay with you, it's very easy to set up a home office with your company. That's very simple as well. Yeah, so you guys, we're in Ekamai right now. You're in Asok, so every morning you come over here pretty early, right? We'll get up at 5, maybe a bit earlier, come here, and I'll do the breath work here, and then straight into the ice.
It's a shocking way to start the day.
I love it. I can't wait. I love the feeling of doing it. But every morning I wake up, as soon as I think about doing it, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to get in the ice today. Why am I doing it? You know, all these excuses. But the effects of doing it make your day so great, full of energy and things like that. And the breath work, of course.
Yeah, that feeling after is so good.
Yeah, I mean, I can, because we do ice baths every day. I've done thousands of ice baths for many years. For me now, it's just the initial stepping in. Once I'm in, I find the benefits straight away. But yeah, if you're new to it, a lot of people were like, oh, I like the feeling afterwards. But the more training you get doing it, understanding it, you can tap into that state in the ice bath. Yeah,
the difference between a guy who's done it 3 times and a guy who's done it thousands of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, man. Now, you're a founder here in Thailand.
Yeah.
You had talked about setting up the legal framework of your company, and things are going really well with it
Yeah.
all. Curious what some of the differences are between running a business here in Thailand versus perhaps running a business back in the UK or the Western world as a whole.
Again, I was surprised. It's easy to set the entity up, very easy, and also staff to do the accounts, you know, even social media stuff, marketing, very straightforward. And I would say from my experience, our experience, very easy to get people who are really interested in doing the work as well. I've not come across any people yet that we've interviewed or talked to work for us who have not been really good workers, really dedicated to the job as well. So that's really refreshing. You know, the Thai people we've met are really good. So that side is really great. And I think what's helped us with expanding our awareness, because we're sort of a weird, unique business and people don't understand what it's all about. We've joined the British Chamber of Commerce, and we've met some great people there. The first day we joined, we got welcomed. We met a business owner there who a week later brought all his staff to us doing some training, some team building. So Chamber of Commerce, the British Club, there's loads of organizations and networking groups you can join to spread the word of what you do. And I think for us, it was the word of mouth. People having a great experience, then sharing it, and then that spread. And we've had some celebrities and people come here. That also helps because they appreciate what we've done, had a really good time. They've told others, and then more people come. So that's been really, really great. And social media marketing, you know, a few adverts here and there is really good as well. And, you know, part teaching and explaining what it's about, and then explaining what we do. That's the best for us, you know, that works really well. But I have heard stories with people who've set up more bigger companies that you've got to be careful how you manage them and not careful, be more respectful of the culture that they come from to understand it.
Yeah. I guess in large, you kind of get to avoid that in a way because it's just you and Cam,
exactly.
You know? And she takes care of business on the Thai side, you take care of business on your side.
Exactly.
You've got your bases covered at a nice boutique level.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and then I guess as it gets larger and other companies scale up, then you've got to be more mindful of the difference in culture as well. Yeah.
And are you guys looking to scale this?
So we are going to scale it up. We've got some plans, but what we like and at this location and how we've built it, we don't want it to feel like it's a place you come, you don't meet anyone, and then you leave. You know, I think there are benefits to them types of places. You know, the gyms where you just go lift weights and get out. You know, they're great. Then you've got like the Virgin Active type places where you go, it's more of a community. They have a lot of classes, a lot of events, and that has benefits as well. And we think it really works with the breath work and the Wim Hof and the other stuff we do, because when you're doing that type of workshop and training, you do feel connected to others. You do feel more open, and especially me, that was my experience. I felt like really connected to the group I was doing this stuff with. So then it's turned into more of an experience, not you pay a fee, you come, you get it, and you leave. You know, people come, they hang around, and like I said, people have been coming since 2019, and we're friends, and we've even been on little trips with our clients we call friends now. So scaling that up is difficult, right? Because as you scale that up, then you lose that aspect of it. And I actually think that's the main, if not the main aspect of it. And you can do, so everything we teach you and train you doing, you can do on your own. You can, the breathwork stuff, you can do it on your own at home. But there's something special about doing it in a group. Maybe you had that experience doing the breathwork with your friends and a big group of people. It can be like a bonding experience. And the same thing when people do Spartan races, you know, there's a documentary called Sufferfest, and it talks about how everyone bonds because they're going through a really difficult challenge together, and there's something what brings people together by that shared struggle, and that's what you're definitely getting in the ice baths here.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, that is tough to replicate as you scale up. Like when I did my workshop, after everybody had done it, and we were chilling in that sauna right there, it was like we had all conquered it together.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and that's where the magic came in. I think for the day.
Yeah, and you know how weird would it be? You do it and then you leave.
Yeah.
You know, it's about the community and building it together. But so I don't think it can be done. I don't think it's easy to scale up and make a duplicate of this. But what we do a lot of workshops around Thailand. We do private workshops. We've been to Koh Phangan doing a private workshop from there. It was a company from Europe that came over. We've done some workshops in Phuket, you know, a few celebrities and people around there. We've done some in Chiang Mai. So we like to, when we get the opportunity, go to these different locations to bring the Wim Hof Method or other breathing techniques. And the oxygen advantage training is very popular with the CrossFit people now. So we like to train the more athletes on that side of stuff. And you know, there's loads of CrossFit gyms around Thailand. Yeah.
Let's wrap this up here, man.
Yeah.
So obviously we've been pretty positive about Thailand, your life here, and starting, building, and growing your business here. I always try to be fair and balanced and give kind of balanced perspectives with this channel and these interviews. So I'm curious, is there anything that you dislike about Thailand, running a business here, or your personal life here?
I would say, apart from the being so hot, I would say the biggest negative, I think, and maybe doesn't seem that important to people, but the biggest negative I found, especially trying to find venues and locations to living in Bangkok, is the flooding situation. This is not so bad, you know, we get very, you know, close to some really big damage with the flooding, but it's not happened yet. And that does worry me if we eventually end up getting our own place and developing, you know, a location, venue, whatever. I think the flooding does concern me, that. You know, I think that's the biggest one, really.
Yeah, heat and flooding. The flooding's a real thing.
Yeah,
real thing.
You know, especially if you own in a house and you know, something ground level. That seems mild. The negatives.
Air pollution. Does that bug you? You guys got the purifiers.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, obviously I'm concerned about the air pollution because being into breathwork and stuff. So we have, in the studio, we have 12 high-end air filters. So we make sure that really clean. Yeah, and I guess if you're spending a lot of time outdoors or you want to exercise outdoors, that is a big concern, especially during the season. Is it like February and March? It can get really bad. Traffic. I mean, that can be a negative if you want to drive around. But if you live in central Bangkok, you don't really need to ever drive your own car. The public transport's amazing, or the grab bikes and things like that.
Yeah, plus that's every big city, you know, traffic.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, Thailand and Bangkok's great for getting around. You know, super close to the BTS here.
Yeah.
Again, it depends what job you're doing. If you're living in one location and working in another, and you have to make these long distances, sure. Yeah, I think that's it, really, the bad side of stuff,
If you had to give any piece of advice for somebody that might have been in a similar position to you a decade ago. You know, you're burnt out and you just need a change. And Thailand seems to be a pathway to that. What advice would you have for that person?
I think it all depends on your stage in life, and then sort of understanding what makes you happy, or, you know, a more positive outlook on your life. If it was me advising a friend who was thinking about moving to a different country, I would say just travel, spend a bit of time there, not doing the tourist stuff all the time, seeing the lifestyle, what other people are doing, and then taking it from there. It is a big jump, especially coming so far. You're coming from Canada all the way to Thailand, and you've never been here before. So maybe visit a location first. Even in Thailand, how many different places you can live. You know, it doesn't need to be one of these main areas. It can be outside of a city. There's so much space, so many areas. So give it a try first. Come, see how you like it, and then decide.
All right, there you have it, Stu's Thailand Blueprint. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, if you're considering building a life here in Thailand, a big part of what's going to make your experience awesome is learning some Thai. So if that interests you, just click up there. You're going to be redirected to the Thai Language Challenge, which my friend Crew Flaw spearheaded. It's her course, her curriculum, and she designed everything around the goal of making sure that you can have a 10-minute conversation in Thai after 100 days, 100 lessons, 100 hours. So it's a lot of work. It is a real challenge, but it's been cool to see some of the first batch of success stories come out of it as others have wrapped up their Thai language challenge. So if that interests you, just click up there. And if you want to see how my colleague Steve lives here in Bangkok and what his retirement looks like, just click up there. Thanks for watching. Cheers.